Have you ever noticed something weird about Gen Z? Like, the world could literally be on fire. Deadlines are piling up, exams are tomorrow, and Gen Z is still replying with a meme. Teacher sends a serious message in the class group, someone replies with a cat gif. Boss writes a long paragraph about work, Gen Z reacts with this. And if you ask them why they're not serious, they'll probably say something like, "Relax, bro, it's not that deep." So the big question is, why does Gen Z seem so unserious about everything? Let's talk about it. First, let's be honest. Gen Z didn't grow up in the calmest time in history. They grew up watching news about climate change, economic problems, global pandemics, and constant chaos on social media. Imagine being a teenager and hearing things like, "the world might end in 30 years." That's not exactly motivating. So instead of panicking all the time, many Gen Z people developed a different coping mechanism: humor. Lots and lots of humor. For Gen Z, joking about problems doesn't mean they don't care. It's actually the opposite. It's how they deal with stress. For example, if a millennial loses their job, they might post a long emotional message on Facebook. But Gen Z, they'll post a meme that says, "Just got fired. Character development arc begins." Same problem, different reaction. Now let's talk about the internet culture, because Gen Z basically grew up online. Previous generations used the internet. Gen Z lives in it. Memes, TikTok, short videos, chaotic humor, that's their daily language. And internet humor is very different from normal humor. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense. Like, imagine showing a random Gen Z meme to someone from 2005. It might just be a blurry picture of a frog with text that says, "Me at 3 a.m. realizing I have responsibilities." That's it, no explanation. But somehow, millions of people find it hilarious. Why? Because everyone relates to it. Gen Z humor is fast, random, and slightly chaotic, just like the internet they grew up with. Another reason Gen Z seems unserious is because they don't worship authority the same way older generations did. In the past, if a teacher or boss said something, people would just nod and say, "Yes, sir." Gen Z, they'll question it. They'll make jokes about it. They'll even turn it into a meme. For example, imagine a teacher saying, "You must respect me because I am older." A Gen Z student might think, respect is earned, not downloaded with age. And then 5 minutes later, someone posts a meme about it. But here's something interesting. Even though Gen Z looks unserious on the surface, they actually care deeply about many things: mental health, social issues, equality, work-life balance. They just express it differently. Instead of writing long, serious speeches, they spread ideas through humor, videos, and memes. Think about it. One funny TikTok can sometimes spread a message faster than a 20-page article, and Gen Z understands that. Now, let's talk about the attention span problem. Gen Z grew up with short-form content everywhere: YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Everything is fast: 10 seconds, 15 seconds, next video, next meme, next joke. Because of this, Gen Z communication became shorter, quicker, and more playful. Why write a long, serious paragraph when you can just send a meme that explains the entire situation? For example, "Friend, are you coming to the party tonight?" Gen Z reply, a picture of someone lying in bed with the caption, "Mentally, yes. Physically, no." Conversation finished. Perfect communication. But here's the twist. What looks like unseriousness is often creativity. Gen Z constantly creates jokes, edits, trends, memes, and viral ideas. They remix culture faster than any generation before them. One random joke on the internet can turn into a global trend overnight, and Gen Z is usually the one behind it. So maybe they're not unserious. Maybe they're just expressing themselves differently. Also, let's not forget something important. Every generation thinks the next generation is unserious. When millennials were young, older people said they were lazy. When Gen X was young, people said they were rebellious. And when baby boomers were young, people thought rock music would destroy society. Spoiler alert, society survived. And the same thing will probably happen with Gen Z. Yes, they make a lot of jokes. Yes, they reply with memes. Yes, they sometimes treat serious situations with chaotic humor, but that doesn't mean they don't care about the future. It just means they deal with life in their own style. And honestly, if the world is stressful, confusing, and unpredictable, maybe laughing about it isn't the worst idea. Because sometimes humor isn't about avoiding reality, it's about surviving it. So the next time you see a Gen Z person turning a serious moment into a meme, don't immediately think they're unserious. They might just be trying to make a difficult world a little easier to handle. And who knows, maybe the world actually needs a little more laughter, even if it comes in the form of a very weird meme. And if you're Gen Z watching this right now, you're probably thinking, bro just explained our entire personality. Honestly, fair enough.